गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन यशोदानंदन व्रजनिरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivraj Kacharya Ashtottara Shatashri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. ISKCON संस्थापकाचार्य से the whole world जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 15, Description of the Kingdom of God, Text 46. Kumara Uchuho. I not completed 46. I still not completed. Today I'll complete. कुमारा ऊचुः यो अंतर्हितो हृदिगतोऽपि दुरात्मनां त्वं सोऽद्यैव नो नयनमूलमनन्तराद्धः यर्ह्येव कर्णविवरेण गुहां गतो नः पित्रानुवर्णितरः भवदुद्भवेन। Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The Kumara said, "Our dear Lord, you are not manifested to rascals, even though you are seated within the heart of everyone. But as far as we are concerned, we see you face to face, although you are unlimited. The statements we have heard about you from our father Brahma through the years have now been actually realized by your kind appearance." We will directly discuss the purport because we have read the purport already twice. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी त्रिदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we have been discussing this verse and the purport. As I mentioned earlier, the three stages of realization of the absolute truth is very nicely explained here. It is said here that there are some yogis who are expected to be very expert and they engage in meditation but do not find the Supreme Lord within their heart. Why? Because they are Duratma, that means they have a crooked heart. What's the meaning of that? That they are opposite of Mahatma. Mahatma means one who is a devotee, because they are non-devotees, so they cannot find the Supreme Lord within the heart. Even though the Lord is seated in the heart, He cannot be seen by non-devotees, even if they engage in meditation. However, they are able to realize by the meditation process the impersonal Brahman. But unfortunately, if they are impersonalists, they consider the realization of impersonal Brahman as the ultimate realization. And simply because they have realized the impersonal Brahman, they think they are liberated. But as has been explained in many different places in the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam by Srila Prabhupada, realizing impersonal Brahman is the beginning of realization of absolute truth. As Prabhupada says here, one should not remain satisfied with experiencing the impersonal Brahman effulgence, and as Ishopanishad it is said, the devotee prays that the glaring effulgence of Brahman will be removed from his eyes so that he can see the real personal feature of the Lord and thus satisfy himself fully. Now, if somebody realizes the impersonal Brahman, unless they are very eager to see the Lord in his personal feature, the Lord is not revealed to him. And in the Bhagavad Gita it is said the Lord cannot be seen, the personal feature cannot be seen by our imperfect eyes, cannot be heard by imperfect ears, cannot be experienced by imperfect senses. Which verse is that? The transcendental form of the Lord cannot be experienced by imperfect senses. Chapter, towards the end, after Krishna reveals the universal form and Arjuna requests Krishna that please reveal your four-handed form, then Krishna reveals to Arjuna the four-handed form and also reveals the two-handed form. And after that Krishna says something. Na veda yajna dhyanir na dhyanir. What is the verse number? 53? 48. 53. 48 says that to see the universal form which has been shown by his internal potency, it is not possible simply by studying Vedas and all that. But 53 says something else. 53 says, Naham vedair na tapasa na danena na chejaya shakya evam vidho drashtum drishtavanasi nam yatha. The form which you are seeing with your transcendental eyes, see, it's not through ordinary eyes, not through imperfect eyes. Cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. In the 54th verse, Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakya aham evam vidorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Jnatum means you can know, drashtum means you can see, tattvena, in fact, in truth, only by undivided devotional service. It's not possible in other way. This transcendental form of the personality of Godhead is not to be seen with imperfect eyes. So what happens when Krishna comes here, incarnates in his form as Krishna? People are able to see, even if they may not have perfect vision, even if they may not have devotion. But they will not recognize Krishna as the Supreme Lord. They think he is a created being like any other person. You see, that is the difficulty. Even if Krishna reveals, if we don't have bhakti, devotion, we are unable to recognize him. Seeing means seeing and recognizing. Not just seeing alone, seeing and recognizing. That's why it is said here, Jnatum drashtum cha tattvena. Tattvena means in truth, in fact. Here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore it is said here, if one engages in devotion, service with faith and devotion, then God reveals himself. God has to reveal himself. Ata Shri Krishna namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyaihi sevo mukhehi jivvadam swayam neva spuratyadaha. If you engage in devotional service, then the Lord reveals himself. Always transcendental form of the personality of God is revealed by the Lord. Is revealed by the Lord. And Prabhupada explains that the four sages, they were sincere devotees, even though they were had only realized the impersonal Brahman, but they were eager to see the form of the personality of Godhead. Because they had heard about this personal feature from their father Brahma. And such hearing was done with faith. Therefore they were confident that there is a form, and that form cannot be seen unless the Lord reveals. So they were very eager to see the form. Because they were sincerely searching, they finally saw the personal feature directly, which corresponded with the description given by their father. They are telling, the statements we have heard about you from our father through the years now have been actually realized by your kind appearance. See, unless the Lord gives darshan, they cannot see. They are eager to see. The Lord has to give darshan. They express their gratitude to the Lord because although they were foolish impersonalists, foolish impersonal means impersonalists think God is impersonal. That's all. But by the grace of the Lord, they could now see the personal feature. Which means that the personal feature is not a material form like the impersonalists think. Impersonalists think when God incarnates in this world, He comes in His impersonal Brahman is manifesting, is coming in a material form. That's what the impersonalists think. But actually, when the Lord incarnates, He comes in His transcendental form. That is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Ajopi san avyayatma. Avyayatma means His transcendental form never deteriorates. Bhutanam ishvaropi san. He is the transcendental Lord of all created beings. Prakritim swam adhisthaya sambhavami atmanaya. So by His internal potency, He manifests His transcendental form to the vision of even ordinary beings. Another important point Prabhupada is telling here, Brahma was directly born from the Lord, Swayambhu. Swayambhu. And the disciplic succession, especially of devotees, is Brahma from the Lord to Brahma. The personal form of the Lord revealed to Brahma, and Brahma revealed that to Narada, Narada revealed to Vyasa. This parampara is accepted by the Kumaras. Why? Because either one should be able to see the Lord if the Lord directly reveals Himself. But even if one is not able to directly see the Lord, one can see the Lord through the chain of disciplic succession. Just like we devotees, we don't have qualification to directly see the Lord. But still we are able to see the Lord even before we reach perfection, simply by hearing about the glories with faith, about the descriptions, and the fact that the Lord is present in the form of the deity. Directly we are able to see the form of the Lord, because this form is not different from the transcendental form in the spiritual world. So through this parampara system of devotees, It is possible to see. The Lord reveals through the parampara system also. So it is said here, the Kumaras were sons of Brahma. Therefore they had the opportunity to learn Vedic knowledge from the disciplic succession of Brahma. And therefore, in spite of their impersonalist beginnings, they became direct seers of the personal feature of the Lord. So unless one follows the parampara, it is not possible to know, to see the personal feature of the Lord. That's why Prabhupada quotes another Vedic injunction, Sampradaya vihinaye mantrastu nishphala mataha. If you are receiving the mantra, especially in regard to devotional service, to realize the personality of Godhead, then that mantra will not help you to actually realize the personality of Godhead if you are not received in the parampara. What kind of parampara? The parampara of the devotees. The parampara of the devotees. So this confidential, most confidential knowledge, sarva guhyatamam bhuyaha shunime paramam vachaha. Guhyatamam. 9th chapter also, Krishna, when he is revealing his personal aspect, and that to pure devotional service, idam tute guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave. Unless one is freed from envy, one cannot realize the personal feature. One cannot render pure devotional service. One cannot even begin to engage in pure devotional service. So that enviousness has to be given up. Even Bhagavatam, beginning itself, dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam. This Bhagavatam can be understood properly, especially the aspect of the Bhagavatam which describes the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead. That is revealed only to those who are nirmatsara. Satam. Satam means devotees. Devotees who are completely freed from all enviousness. Otherwise it is not possible. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna tells Arjuna, anasuyave idam tute guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave. So the non-devotees, they are unable to realize whatever process they will follow. They cannot take to devotional service. Even if they take to devotional service, their devotional service will be mixed with karma and jnana. That is the kind of devotional service they may render. Whereas the devotional service described in the Bhagavatam, ahaituki apratihata anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavrutam. In the Bhagavatam also, manchayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate, or bhakti Bhaktyatu in the 11th chapter, 54th verse. Bhaktyatu ananyaya shakya aham evam vidhojana. Ananyas chintayanto man ye jana paryupasate. This is pure devotional service. So such pure devotional service is the only way to realize the personality of Godhead. The only way to have direct darshan of the personality of Godhead. That's not possible otherwise. Even to understand, even to know about the personality of Godhead as the absolute truth, ultimate feature of the absolute truth, the source of Brahman, the source of Paramatma, the source of all that exists. See the 10th chapter, Krishna says, I am the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva. One who knows this, what is the characteristic of a person who knows this? Bhajante mam buddha bhava samannitaha. What kind of service they render? They render service which is bhava samannitaha. What is the translation? 10.8. Raghav Sharan, read. 10.8 translation.
And the source of all spiritual and material works, everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their heart.
With all their hearts they worship. So this sort of devotional service is possible, is the only way to know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate source of everything. Bhagavatam also, right in the beginning, Janmadhyasya yataha anvayad itarataschaर्थेषु abhignaswarat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Satyam Param Dhimahi. So Vyasadeva also reveals in the Bhagavatam the absolute truth as the ultimate personality of Godhead, the ultimate source of everything. So any questions? So today I conclude this verse, this description. Yeah.
The earlier session you have mentioned Brahma's form is also material, whereas when it comes to Parampara initiator, being a pure devotee starting from Krishna, he must be a pure devotee representative of the Supreme Lord.
Correct.
Then how do we reconcile this, seeing Brahma's form to be material and being a pure devotee, his form could be a spiritual form?
Now, pure devotees in this material world, when they appear, just like Prabhupada. Prabhupada is a pure devotee. But still, for the sake of certain function or service in this world, they accept a material form. Brahma, he has to do the work of being the leader in his position as Brahma. So he accepts. But his consciousness is what is important for us. What is his consciousness? Prabhupada also, if you see his external form, you may not be able to make out. But his consciousness is 100% Krishna consciousness. All pure devotees, it is only through their consciousness you can recognize them. We cannot otherwise recognize them. Yamaraj, he was cursed to become Vidura. But who recognized him? Krishna himself. When Krishna was going to Hastinapura for peace negotiation with Duryodhana on behalf of Yudhishthira. So Duryodhana had made huge arrangements to receive Krishna. Very, very royal reception, grand reception. But Krishna never went to Duryodhana's palace to stay when he was visiting. He went to Vidura's humble dwelling and he stayed with Vidura. So, a pure devotee cannot be recognized by externals, always. Especially in this world, a pure devotee may not display any symptoms of a pure devotee, may not. Many memories of Prabhupada, the devotees say that sometimes Prabhupada, when asked, are you a pure devotee? Prabhupada said, no, I am just an ordinary person. I am just a servant of my spiritual master, that's all. I am trying to carry out his order. I am an ordinary person. So it's very difficult. Sometimes Prabhupada, when somebody asks a question, Prabhupada says, I don't know. Some answer. Devotees will ask a question, they expect an answer. Hamsaduta Prabhu says that he got the name Hamsaduta when he got initiated from Prabhupada. Those days Prabhupada directly used to do everything. Whole initiation ceremony, giving the beads, chanting on the beads, teaching them how to do everything. The initial days. So Prabhupada gave the name, your name is Hamsaduta Das. So Hamsaduta Prabhu became curious to know what is the meaning of this word. So he asked Prabhupada, what's the meaning of this name Hamsaduta? Prabhupada said, I don't know. So he was shocked. Prabhupada is telling he doesn't know. He could understand. It's not that Prabhupada doesn't know. That much he could understand. So he thought some other time I will ask. So after about a few months, another chance he got. Again he asked Prabhupada, what is the meaning of this Hamsaduta? So Prabhupada said, you can find it in the scriptures. So suddenly he was not expecting that answer, so he didn't know what to say. He was silent. Where will he search? Obviously no. If Prabhupada says it in the scriptures, which scripture will he search? Those days there were no books also. Only Prabhupada's 3 volumes of Bhagavatam which he had carried from India, only those were the 3 books available, that's all. Nothing else was there. Nothing else was there. So, another time again he asked Prabhupada, I want to know the meaning of my name. He said it is in the scriptures. Which scripture? Prabhupada said it's in the Bhagavatam. Again, he didn't know what to ask. So he thought Bhagavatam, that first 3 volumes, no, in that he will search. So he's searching, nowhere Hamsaduta word appears in this first canto of Bhagavatam, nowhere it is there. So then again he goes to Prabhupada, another opportunity. he wants to ask, where in the Bhagavatam? So, another chance he got, he asked Prabhupada, he said the meaning of Hamsaruta is in the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada, where is it in the Swamiji? Those days he was not Prabhupada, known as Prabhupada. Swamiji, where, which part of Bhagavatam? Prabhupada says, I don't know. Again Prabhupada says, I don't know. So, like that, it is so difficult for him to actually ascertain. Really Prabhupada doesn't know, or Prabhupada knows, but somehow he is not telling. So, he could later on understand, he says, that actually Prabhupada was very, very, very humble. He never projected himself, I am a pure devotee, I know everything. Never. The fact is, actually Prabhupada knew everything. You see, Prabhupada, he was busy with his household life. Though he was very interested and very eager to know about devotional service after he met his spiritual master. But before that only his father had trained him in worshipping, in kirtan, in Vedanga, in honoring prasadam. Everything his father had trained him except book printing. Prabhupada says, everything else his father had trained him. Only book publishing, book printing he learned from his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Everything else his father had trained him as far as devotional life is concerned. So he was a devotee actually, even before he met his spiritual master. But his father also was not formally practicing as a devotee in a temple like that, no. His father was having business, but every day he would do puja, every day he would offer, every day he would read Bhagavatam, all that he would do. So his father was a devotee and he trained up his son also to be a devotee only. And he would tell anybody, sadhu will come, bless my son to become a devotee of Radharani, a servant of Radharani. Who will ask like that other than a devotee, pure devotee? Who will ask that blessing? His father was a pure devotee. And father wanted him to learn Vedanga. He was not interested so much what he is learning in the school. So mother used to say, if he spends time on Vedanga, he will not study his school lessons. But father used to protest and say, no, he must learn Vedanga. Especially when Vedanga teacher was hired to teach Vedanga to small boy. So which means that his father was actually a pure devotee. And Prabhupada says that in the beginning of Krishna book, dedicated to his father, correct? So he was a devotee even before he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But then, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur he met, the first meeting itself, what did he say? Young people like you should actually dedicate your life for preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya all over the world. First meeting itself. Because he is a devotee. Who will do this? Preaching all over the world, message of Lord Chaitanya. Only devotees can do it. Nobody else can do it. So his spiritual master also recognized him right in the beginning. But we don't see Prabhupada immediately he joined, yes, I will do the preaching, I will carry out your instruction. No. He was in his householder life. And then he tried to help the Gaudiya Math. But he himself, Prabhupada himself says, I somehow could not join the mission of my spiritual master till things took a turn in his personal life. His business, he started undergoing losses. His idea was, I earned a lot of money and then I will donate this huge amount of money for the mission of my spiritual master. But Krishna had some other plan, Prabhupada says. Krishna had some other plan. So his business started undergoing loss. Then he decided that he is going to quit his business, hand over his responsibility to his sons and go away to Vrindavan. But in Vrindavan also, he was doing this printing back to Godhead, he was doing this writing books, everything he was doing. But his godmother insisted that you must take sannyas to preach. So Prabhupada says, I was thinking, how will I accept sannyas? Actually, Prabhupada is completely detached. He is not attached to anything. He is staying in Vrindavan in a very austere way. He didn't bring money from his house. He didn't bring any money from his house. He says, Prabhupada says, that he borrowed for the ticket to travel to Vrindavan. He borrowed from a friend some money. He never took any money from his home. After handing over charge to his son, he did not take any money. It's all his money only. But he didn't take any money. These are all ways of understanding his total dependence on Krishna. Total dependence on Krishna. Pure devotee, he has full faith. Krishna will maintain me. I simply have to depend on Krishna. That's all. Whatever Krishna wants. Otherwise, a person who doesn't have that kind of faith in Krishna, if he has some money, that money he will bring, he will try to utilize that money for renting a place or for maintaining himself. Right? So Prabhupada borrowed from a friend and travelled. Then for printing books, for printing back to Godhead, he would solicit donations. Then selling that back to Godhead, whatever little he would get, he would buy his provisions. Some sabji, some atta, cook himself. 5 rupees rent, that Radha Damodar temple, one room. Before that he was in Vanshi Gopal temple. There 2 rupees rent. Very, very humble way he lived. So, and Prabhupada never used to describe all this to anybody. Later on when devotees started asking, then Prabhupada little in conversations he would tell. Otherwise Prabhupada never revealed it. So my point is, a pure devotee cannot be recognized by externals, by his behavior, cannot recognize easily. Of course, anybody can make out Prabhupada is a devotee, but that is a pure devotee. That is not easy. There are so many devotees who are living in austere way. But just because somebody lives in austere way doesn't make them a pure devotee. That is another mistake people sometimes make. Oh, he is very, very austere, he is a pure devotee. No, not necessary. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent one Gadadhar Pandit, our Panchatattva. He sent him to learn about the devotional scriptures from one Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So this Gadadhar went to Pundarik Vidyanidhi's house. First of all, those days when you go to somebody's house, you ask, where does this person stay in that particular locality? So they pointed to a huge mansion, palatial building. So he says, he stays in this palatial building, he's going to teach me about devotional literature. Anyway, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended, so he went inside. And he was completely disappointed because Pundarik Vidyanidhi used to live with royal opulence. With royal opulence. He had so many servants and nice furniture, and used to dress in very good silk. So looking at him, his furniture, his servants, Gadadhar became even more depressed, even more disappointed. He said, how can I learn from him? Anyway, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, always he is reminded that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told me to learn from him, so I should learn from him. So anyway, some discussions were there. It was going on. So, but still he had a doubt. Is this, of course he should be a devotee, only then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will recommend him, but is he a very exalted, advanced devotee that I have to learn from him specifically? That doubt he had, Gadadhar had. So one day, somebody came to visit this Pundarik Vidyanidhi when Gadadhar was present in the house. So that person started reciting one verse from the Bhagavatam. This Pundarik Vidyanidhi went into ecstasy hearing that. Then all the symptoms, Ashta Sattvika Vikara, Gadadhar could see in the personality of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Then he understood, within his heart is pure devotion to Krishna. Otherwise you cannot make out. From externals, you cannot make out. Even by closely observing him, you cannot make out. So therefore, a pure devotee can be known only by ourselves becoming devotees. Only if we become devotees, then we can begin to understand something about pure devotees. Like Prabhupada's own disciples, in the beginning, what could they understand? Swamiji, that's all. But as they advanced in devotion service, they could understand, very, very exalted personality. They could understand. Even we ourselves, in our own life, we can easily make out. What did we know about devotion, devotional service, devotees? Very little. But as we progress, we can recognize who is a pure devotee. At least we can understand better, isn't it? Any other question? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।